welcome to my workshop. You may remember that we made these adorable little primitive signs not too long ago, and today we're going to add to this collection with something you will like for Halloween. Ready to get started? I'm going to start by painting the base of our sign in a black paint. I ended up using 2 coats on this. Be sure to catch the back and the sides. I'm going to list all of the products that I've used in the description of this video, so if you want to check those out, you're welcome to use my links. Otherwise, use what you have. If you have orange or black at home, use what you have. Next, we're going to paint the candy corn using my favorite shades of gold, orange, and white. I actually knew the colors that I was going to use, but I wasn't sure of the order in which they were on a normal candy corn. So I had to go online and check. The words "Oh So Sweet" are engraved on the tags, and I want to be sure that I don't put the paint on so that it runs into the engraving. To do that, I'm using a little makeup sponge that I'm tapping into the paint and tapping most of it off on my palette. That is so that the paint is not too runny and it doesn't fill in the engraved areas. I want to leave that nice and easily readable. I'm going to do a little spatter painting on this area. What I'll do is wet my paintbrush and dip it into some brown paint. Make sure that it's not too thick and not too thin. You want the right consistency, and just pat your paintbrush with another paintbrush. I recommend you practice this off to the side in an area that you don't want spattered first, just to make sure you have it the right consistency. I also went in with some white paint and added some white spatters too. The next thing I'll do is grab my Tim Holtz Vintage Photo ink and a sponge dauber. And what I'm going to do is put the dauber on my finger, tap into my ink, and I'm going to go all around the edges of my candy corn and my tags, tapping it along the edges. Notice that I'm not running it back and forth. I want it to have a nice grungy look, not a smooth look, so I'm tapping it on the edges, going all around the shapes. I kept going around and around until I got to the color depth and the depth into the project that I wanted. Just take your time and work your way around and around until you get the look that you like. You can see that it's already getting that vintagey, grungy look that we all love. It's time to start putting everything together, and I'm going to grab my stick fast glue and some Spanish moss, and we are going to put that behind the candy corn on the base of our project. So I spread it out a little bit. I wanted to see exactly how much room the moss was going to take up. I don't want it to overwhelm the candy corn, but I definitely wanted it to show. So I drew some little squiggles with my glue on top of the base and laid my Spanish moss on top of it, like so. And then I took the candy corn and I put some glue on the back of that too. So when you put this down, you're going to notice that it feels a little bit spongy. So what I would suggest is that you place it where you want it and then put something heavy on top of it and just let it sit till it's set up. It took a little while because I was holding it by my hand, so I decided to put something heavy on top of it so it would set and be in the right spot. Now I'm going to take some of my rusty wire and I'm going to cut a length even more than twice of the length that I would like the hanger to be. I'm going to put some curly cues on the end poking through the holes in the hanger, so I do want a couple extra inches to play with there. So after you fold it, you're going to bend the end so that it is as tight as you can get it. I did go back in and use my wire cutters to make that a little bit smaller because I couldn't fit it through the hole in the back, but just you'll see me do that in a minute. So just twist the wires together till you get all the way to the end, and then we're going to pop them through the holes in the back. This is where I had to squeeze that end a little bit tighter. So you're just going to play with that until the hanger is about the length that you want it to be. And then you're going to grab a paintbrush, and I use the end of it. You could also use a pencil, I guess. And I just twisted the wire around and around to make the curly cue. It's decorative, but it also holds the wire in place. So the next thing that I did by mistake. I put the glue on the back of the tag and attached it to the background. What I really wanted to do was to put the wire through the hole and then glue it all down. So as soon as I put the glue on and put the tag there, I realized it. So I did pull it off really quickly, thread the wire through the back, and it all worked out fine. So you're going to see it correctly in just a minute. We are almost done with this really sweet project, and the next thing that you're going to see me do is add a little piece of homespun fabric. I love adding these to my primitive pieces, even if it's just a small piece tied in a knot, which is what I did in this one around the hanger. I just think it adds a little bit of softness and even more of a rustic feel. So I just did a double knot and trimmed the ends, and I think it came out adorable. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you have any questions about anything that you've seen today, please drop that in the comments and I will get back to you as soon as possible. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Facebook, and be sure to check out my Etsy shop. All of the links are in the description of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad that you joined me, and I hope you visit again real soon. So the next part that I did, I glued the Oh So Sweet tag to the sign, and as soon as I put it on, I realized that I really should have put the wire through the hole. So before it was actually set up, I realized my mistake, and I pulled it off, and I put the wire through the hole and just twisted it up again. So it all worked out fine. Yep, there's it is. It went right through, just like it should. The last bit we're going to add is just a little bit of homespun that I have in my collection. Everybody's got a little fabric here and there, right? So I cut off a piece and I just tied a very, very simple knot around the rusty wire to finish it all up. And I think having the fabrics kind of softens the look of having all of the hard wood surfaces. Just kind of softens it a little. So we're done. Isn't that fun? That was such an easy project. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, be sure to put them in the comments and I will respond to you as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful rest of your day.